Welcome back to Hold My Matcha. This is our second episode now, so hopefully we're going to be getting more into the groove of things. We have different matcha today.
We do.
Like we promised. If it's Dutch Brothers, if you can see the cups on the video, but if you're just listening, it's Dutch Brothers. So,
What kind of matcha did you get?
so I got the lavender matcha because that sounded good. They have a lemonade option, like lemonade matcha, which was interesting.
Right.
I think that's what I have. Either that or maybe they just have like super different matcha, but it tastes like, I don't know how to describe it. Not acidic, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
What did you get?
I got a white chocolate matcha. A fun fact, I actually hate lavender. I think the stuff, it smells like soap. So surely it tastes like soap, right? Anyway, I got
that.
I got white chocolate. I'm gonna be honest, I don't love it. It's alright. Definitely not the best one I've had.
If you see multiple drinks on our table, don't fret. We are still drinking matcha. I just may also have water and coffee as well because I'm just that kind of person. So, yeah, anybody who's wondering, I'm drinking coffee from Dutch Brothers. This is a Golden Eagle.
Oh, so you've been to Dutch Bros twice today.
Yes, because I was going to finish this earlier today, but I forgot I had it. So we still got a lot left over, but it's okay. We got it in a cute little cup from Etsy.
You have to tell them what your cup says.
Yes. It's kind of like one of those little guest check sticker things, and written on it, it says, "Buy me books and tell me I'm pretty," in pink, because that was cute.
It's so adorable.
I love it. We will have a books episode, so get ready for that. But this episode is...
So we've entitled this episode, Where Our Lore Started. This is going to be a bit of a deep dive into our background as theater kids, and maybe a little bit into what made us who we are today as far as high school theater goes. Whether that's actual productions, people, or films we did at the time. Whatever.
kind of just school, but school for us together was mostly theater for that overlap. But, yeah, we did films. That was fun.
We did. We mentioned them last time. If you looked them up and you hated them, don't tell us. If you looked them up and you liked them, tell us. We like feedback, but only good feedback.
Only good feedback, yeah. I'm... For those, I think high school is also a good way for us specifically to talk about how we knew what we wanted to do. Because I think I consider both of us pretty lucky because we had a general idea in high school, or at least at a young age, of what we kind of wanted to do. And I think theater really helped with that. Like, I didn't really realize what I wanted to do until I went into theater, and I was like, this is so fun. And then I got more into backstage, and I liked that more, kind of the production side of things. And then I discovered film, which I never thought I would like, honestly. But this one, for film, this one, I look back and it's kind of just a funny story because it wasn't somebody sitting me down and going, listen, this is what's best for you. It was a moment of like, hey, I think you should try the fries. They're actually pretty good. Like, it was one of those kinds of moments. I had a really good friend in high school who did short films before, and he really liked them. And we were just hanging out, and he just nonchalantly said, like, I think you'd really like the little short film competition things for TAPS. Because, you know, we went to a private school in Texas, so, like, the competitions for, like, you know, sports, testing, arts, it was, like, TAPS. And there was, like, annual, like, arts competitions every year in, I think, Waco, which is super cool. It's, like, this big thing. It's really fun. And they have a short film section. And I was like, I remember at the time, I was like, yeah, but I have to write something and then film it with people and then edit it.
It's a bit of a feat.
And then turn it in. I look back at that and I laugh because now that I've been through college and just doing a bunch of those projects, I mean, that's nothing. Doing it by yourself, that is a lot.
You've done quite a lot of them at that point.
Like, looking back, I was like, oh yeah, no, that was just us two. Well, when you get to college, you finally meet people and you can kind of do it with a bigger crew. I look back and I'm like, we did that all by ourselves.
We did. We did, in fact, do that all by ourselves. It was kind of a wild ride, actually.
Yeah. Because I didn't have a camera. You had a camera. And you were interested as well, and we thought it would be fun.
Right.
But, yeah, my first attempt wasn't too awful. Because it was a kind of thing where I would write it in the fall. We'd film it kind of like over like Thanksgiving or Christmas breaks. Because, you know, we obviously had our high school friends act in it for us. Or our theater friends act in it. And then I think it would be turned in like the following, like February or like January. And then the awards were like in March, I think.
Something like that. It was pretty early
Yeah.
in the year. Yeah.
And compared to more advanced film competitions, this was pretty simple. Like, it was literally just short film competition, documentary, narrative, or animation. That was it. There was no, like genres. That was it. Yeah. It was kind of, you were only split up by school districts, as, you know, most school competitions are. And, like, one act, we're going to get into that. Yeah, but my first one wasn't too bad. I like to say that my first and second one weren't too bad.
They weren't. They weren't too bad at all.
No, we learned a lot, honestly. After we did the first one, we're like, oh, this is something fun we could do.
Right.
So the next year came around, my senior year, and you were doing your online. So you were still in town, and I called you up, and I was like, hey, let's do another one.
And I was doing my own little films at that point, because I think it was regardless of the emphasis that you had at GCU as a film major, you still had to take, you know, most of the same film classes. I think you mentioned that last time. And so a lot of my classes were classes where I had to, you know, write and then produce something. So I was doing my own at that point too. So I think we probably got a little better at that point. I specifically remember there was a shot that we did in Speak Up where I had the gimbal. I was walking down like a dark hallway.
It's our first time using a gimbal.
Yeah. we had a gimbal, and it was, let me tell you, those things are really heavy. Anyway, I had one, and I'd prop it against my stomach and just walk as slow as humanly possible. And as someone who's short, I feel like walking steadier is probably a little easier. I don't know why I say that, but I'm closer to the ground. Anyway, so I was walking towards one of our theater friends who starred in the short film, and it was a really cool shot from far away.
Yeah,
so
I'm glad we got to kind of play with that. I casted the friend that told me actually to do short films, and he kindly let us use some of his nice stuff, and he had like a fancy gimbal, which was like, I think even heavier than the one I have now. Like, I think it's a fancier brand. And he let us borrow his nice camera as well, which was also heavy. And you are not used to that weight.
Oh no. It's not, I mean, I can carry some weight, but
at the time,
a camera that big was definitely a learning curve, because the first film that we did, Reset, was quite a lot. Well, I guess you could call it a lot more amateur. We were definitely fresh at the time, so we were just using like my regular Canon, which it wasn't bad. It was light. It was normal, pretty, you know, just basic camera wise. So it was kind of a jump to use different equipment that time, but it was definitely fun. And I mean, while a learning curve, I think it was good for us. So
yeah, it was nice to kind of mess around and stuff like that. And with the gimbal, like, a lot of opportunities open up even for simple shots. So, like, you know, we got to kind of like do like a makeshift dolly shot, which took a while because
we did.
I wanted to do like, you know, students walking down the hallway and you're just kind of following him. But like, you know, it's when you're holding a camera and you're doing a walking shot and you're trying to follow the person, you don't realize until you do it for the first 2 times that, like, when you're walking with the camera, you're going significantly slower than the actor. So you have to tell the actor, like, you need to go a lot slower. You can't just walk like a normal person. Like, you need to go a lot slower.
Like, if need be, you can speed it up in post, but like, especially because didn't that cart had a squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
There are a lot of, I bet you, if you look up the bloopers for Speak Up,
Yeah.
There is a segment where you can hear me behind the camera laughing, and there's a squeak because the cart that I'm sitting on, it wasn't an actual dolly, it was like one of those like push carts that you put like food on or whatever, and I'm sitting on it and it squeaks, and you keep hearing me cackle because it was interrupting shots. So we would start rolling, and then it was all the way down.
It was a very
hallway.
loud squeak.
It was definitely hard. And yeah, it was, what a time.
Because even though we had the gimbal, like, we needed it to be smoother. Mm-hmm. And so we just popped you on a little school art cart plastic thing.
Yeah.
Which was old and not oiled up at all. So we're like rolling down the hallway and it's just squeaking. I don't know how we managed to even get some of the shots we needed without that squeak. I mean, like, because there was audio in those shots.
We had to go so slow.
Yeah.
And I think we just got lucky a few times. And it might have like lightened up after we'd used it a few times, but I'm pretty sure that cart was just, a thorn in our sides the entire time. So it was quite a ride.
I think because we had to play with the camera for a little bit at first and the gimbal, but it provided some fun shots. I will say both of my short films, because you try to write something doable that's not too hard. So obviously both of my short films took place with high school students because, we had access to a school. And so I think I did a shot that was the same in both that I just really liked. And it's not hard to do, which is fun. And that is the locker shots where, you put the camera in the locker and you have the actor open it up and boom, there's the actor. I did that with both, I believe.
Yeah, they were... Let me tell you, these shots are so hard because, okay, so I DP'd both of these. So I was the cinematographer, I was doing the camera work, and we were working together to figure out how to do what. And my primary goal as a DP, even on a short film, is to, hit your vision as closely as I can. And those locker shots were the bane of my existence because so the problem is that most cameras in filming mode are gonna automatically shoot automatic, which the way that I mean it is it's gonna automatically zoom and it's gonna automatically change the lighting. So when you go from a completely dark locker to a door opening and there being a face there, you kind of have to contend with, is it going to zoom right? Is the lighting going to be right? Is it going to look right? And so we would consistently have to deal with, where are we putting the camera? Is the camera working? Is it shooting how we want it to? And it's very funny. There's also a couple bloopers of me talking in a British accent with a top knot on my head, trying to, fix it correctly. It was, those shots were pretty challenging. I would say the gimbal was a lot easier in comparison to fixed shots that I had to do. But they turned out well. I thought they looked both how you wanted them to.
Yeah, they both were great, honestly. I was very happy with both of those at the time. And then when I went to college, I was like, okay, this feels nice. Because at least for film students especially, I felt like I had something under my belt. Because usually people don't actually start doing more film until they get to college. At least I was told. But I wasn't all like, oh yeah, I know everything. I was like, no, it was me and you with the camera. That was kind of it. But I had messed around in iMovie. I will never forget. This is embarrassing. I didn't have a MacBook in high school. I was using my sister's old MacBook. And it just had iMovie on it. And I was using that to edit. The airplane. Yeah, no, it sounded like an airplane powering up. It was a thicker one.
It was genuinely so loud.
But I also didn't update iMovie on there. It was just the same as it was years ago. So I remember taking a photo of me editing, and my friend was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, you need to update that. I was editing on a super old version of iMovie, and I was like, oh, this is embarrassing.
What is this ancient contraption that you're trying to use right now? Did you use that to edit LA?
I did, because because that was I didn't get a MacBook until college. That was kind of my parents' very, very kind deal, was that when I went to college, they would purchase a MacBook. And thankfully at the time, whenever you purchase a MacBook, I think you get a discount on Final Cut. And I wanted Final Cut. I'm ready for my frustration to come out. So the frustrating thing is that I was blessed to be given a MacBook, and I got Final Cut because I was like, that looks what I can do. Well, now all schools and jobs want is Adobe, so little unfortunate. That's the frustrating part. Is like I'll find a job where it's kind of like videography, photography, and editing, and I'm like, oh, I check all these boxes, and it's like have a proficiency in Adobe, and I'm like, oh man,
Dang it, that's not what I have.
which is okay. I just need to find a job where I can play around with that, so I know how it works. And but like they taught Premiere Pro in college, so like it's not
Right.
like I've never heard of it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I figured it out. I mean, if I figured out iMovie for high school films, figured out Final Cut for some college ones, YouTube University had a lot of tools to figure out in Final Cut because that's a lifesaver. So it's okay. But we didn't meet at the short films. We met long before that.
Right. I mean, I think we crossed paths at least when we were younger, whether or not you remember said path crossing. But we really became friends after we'd been in one act together for a while. We were probably it was probably about 6 months. So all of the fall semester and part of the spring semester where we did theater together, but we weren't really like friends. And then we, our little small private Christian school did missions week and sent groups of students out to do mission work in March every year. And we both went to LA that year with a couple of our other theater friends and ended up just hitting it off, becoming really close, and we had a lot of fun. A lot of our little jokes come from that trip. So that's when we kind of became friends, but we've pretty much just been together since then, goofing and gaffing all the time.
That was a really good trip. That was a
was.
pivotal moment. That was a stepping stone trip, which was great
really
for a
was.
lot of friendships and definitely just for us. But yeah, that's where it started because the following was my junior year, and I was like, I'm gonna make a short film, and I called you up because I didn't have a camera.
Right.
But yeah, because we were in theater that year. We just didn't really like actually start becoming friends until that mission trip.
Right.
Because that theater year was, if you don't know what one act is, it's like a little 40-minute play that you perform at a competition you compete with. So just 40-minute one act, and we got to do that in the fall, which was super fun. So we were like a little competitive theater team, which sounds super cool. But what was it? It was a New Orleans one.
Oh, it was Lafayette. Lafayette #1. Yeah, that one. I don't know if I ever told you this. I actually wrote a short story about Lafayette #1 once.
Really?
Yeah, I submitted it for a project in college. I don't know. Anyway, the concept was the yellow fever sweeping through New Orleans and specifically the like community of orphans in the area. And there's a lot of like metaphor going on in it. It was sad, but I think our shtick was drama, so it fit. It definitely fit. Most of the ones that the one acts at least were definitely more dramatic, more emotional. So
Comedy's a lot harder
yeah,
to do, which I agree with. And plus, drama's just always fun. I feel like our theater teacher, who we love to death to this day, she's amazing. She always picked some really good, like, dramatic, like, twist ending stuff
Yeah.
for us, which was like, that got us really excited to do it. Because I think we had a lot of fun with Lafayette. That was a fun year.
we did.
A lot of jokes from that year, too, considering all of you guys were playing orphans on stage.
Yeah, it kind of a dark concept that then bred a lot of hilarity. We definitely had a lot of fun with that one. It was very new for me at the time because I had just joined. I was just your average high schooler who. My only extracurricular up until this point was tennis, and I actually quit tennis to be in theater, so it was definitely a new beast for me to tame. But I loved it. I actually saw one of the reasons that I wanted to be in one act was yes, this semester that I spent in theater doing an art credit, but it was also Dark Road. I saw Dark Road, and it was like it was like my inciting incident, and I saw it and I was like, I need to be a part of this. This is so cool. And just to contextualize, that was a grayscale play, so they were all painted.
Oh yeah, I remember
So
that.
it was quite interesting.
It was
So
gray on everything. There's still gray paint on those costumes. Grayscale is basically black and white, but in real life on stage. So not only were we wearing like, monotone costumes with like a set, we painted our faces and I think our arms like up to our elbows gray and then just wore
Yeah.
like gray pantyhose for like our legs
right.
so that we looked like we were in black and white on stage. Because I think that the premise was like a soldier retelling her time working at a camp and she was in color. When she was retelling it on the other side of the stage, we would come on and like perform what she was retelling in black and white, so it looked like the past. But it was still a really fun concept. Like everybody was
Yeah.
super surprised by it, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Well, and I think I think your assumption is that even if there's actors in front of you who are painted black and white, you're not gonna see it as a black and white movie. But from afar, it actually worked to your advantage quite a bit. It definitely played up the drama of it all. And I thought it was really cool. So, but, after that, we did Cinderella. That was the first one that I was a part of. I was in theater as an art credit, and I actually got to do some set design. I guess I wasn't designing at that point. I made a part of the sets that year, and I absolutely loved it. And actually, this isn't typically a part of, regular theater kids or anything like that, but I actually took over set design as a whole for the musical we did the next year, which was Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
I was really proud of my bookshelves that year. It took me a long time to get those done.
That was a great set that year.
Oh, and before COVID, we were going to do Into the Woods my senior year for the spring, and I had designed a whole slew of these really immaculate sets, and obviously it never happened. But yeah, that was a big part of my theater journey. But we had fun.
I was painted gray again that following semester because
during Cinderella.
I was a dancing statue, so that was fun. I was like 4 different shades of gray because I was wearing a morph suit, and then I had like a gray sheet as like my clothing over, and then I painted my face gray, and then I wore a silver wig. So there was like 4 different
Look like
shades
the
of like
Statue of
silver
Liberty.
and gray going on there. But it was still fun. I still had a lot of fun doing that. I looked
Yeah.
ridiculous, but it was still fun.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, because I was still an outsider at that point, but I was, back in the green room looking at you like, what the heck is this girl doing? This is
Who are
wild.
these people?
Yeah, but, I mean, I would say, like, from the outside looking in, I mean, what you guys were doing was super cool, and all I knew was that I really wanted to be a part of it, because during Cinderella, I mean, you're standing back there looking like the stupid silver Statue of Liberty, and just like laughing, and everybody's running around doing like quick costume changes and stuff, and I wanted to be a part of it. It seemed so cool, and at that point in my high school career, I really just had a couple friends, and it wasn't anything crazy. I wasn't really a part of anything, and I think I saw what you guys had, and I really wanted to experience it. It was definitely very cool.
Yeah.
So
I love that, in books and movies, you see theater kids or like drama club as like kind of a very stereotyped thing. Well, not stereotyped, but like, they're the quirky, like weird inside joke, nerdy kids that like are attached at the hip. And it's like, not really far off. Like it definitely feels like a fun little family. Definitely. I think any theater kid will tell you that. But,
yeah, well, and I mean, I think in media, there are a lot of stigmas about, the nerds or, the kids who aren't, popular and with all of the, crazy cool kids or anything like that. But in reality, I think it's just being a part of something that makes or breaks any time in your life, really. And I thought you guys had that. And honestly, you really did, because fast forward a year, I mean, my, what would that have been? My junior year was absolutely the best year ever. It's so much fun.
Would have been my sophomore. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because that was the year of Lafayette in the fall, and then us becoming really good friends on the LA trip in the March. And then the spring musical that year, I think everybody agreed that, like, that was just the best one. Like, it just fit so well, and it was one that, you know, everybody knows, which was Beauty and the Beast. Which is nice when you do musicals like that. It's like, well, everybody's seen the movie. It's like, it's nothing crazy, and, like, you still have fun with it. That one was definitely one that was, like, if you just looked at our team, it's like, oh, we didn't even need to do auditions. Like, everybody fit their role perfectly. Like, I think we all knew what we were going to get.
Well, yes, I think you're right. I think we really did fit them perfectly, whether or not I was a old man in the shape of a clock. We definitely we were so well suited to the parts that we had that spring. And beyond that, I think we were all so down to just have fun. Like, we were dedicated and we wanted to do it well and we wanted it to be good, but we also wanted to have fun. And so it wasn't just about, you know, hunkering down and doing all the work or anything like that. It was also let's have fun while we're doing it. And I think that made it honestly one of the best experiences I've ever been a part of. And it was fun to do it with all of our friends. And, you know, those are the people that we hung out with, the people we did short films with, the people that we went to prom with. Like, we were all super close, so.
Just like in the movie, we don't need to get into this that much, but just like in the movies, whenever everybody's happy and it feels like the season finale and you're like, things are too happy right now, things are too good, shit is about to hit the fan. It was definitely our most dramatic year, but, like, thankfully it didn't overshadow it. Like, we still had a lot of fun. Like, I had a lot of good memories from that year. And I would say that, like, Beauty and the Beast was definitely the one that, like, we unintentionally kind of worked our hardest on because we were having so much fun. And we all, like, really got into our characters and just being silly with them. I was LeFou. I'm sorry I didn't say that in the first place. You were Cogsworth.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Didn't specify that. I was Cogsworth. You were LeFou. It was very funny.
Yeah, if you don't know who LeFou is, it's Gaston's little guy. I am not little, but I still had fun with it. It was great because at the time, like, one of my best friends in theater, like, we hung out all the time. When Beauty and the Beast came up, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be Gaston and LeFou. Like, we knew. We knew, and we had so much fun with that. We got to, in a lot of the little bits, we got to, like, kind of come up with our own little physical comedy, and we had a lot of fun with it. But, yeah.
You guys were a lot of fun. I think I fit Cogsworth pretty well. If you don't know who he is by name, he's, you know, the angry little clock in Beauty and the Beast. And he's an angry little British man, which, fun fact, every character I've played on stage, barring the single orphan that I played, which was the only other character that I would have had with lines, they've all been British. So I've only ever been British on stage. And it was a lot of fun just to be, like, angry little British man the whole time. Because I'm basically just, like, yelling at, you know, Lumiere and even the Beast at some points. So it was definitely fitting. And I think I had numbers painted on my face.
You
too.
did?
Yeah, there were numbers painted on my face, and I had this giant styrofoam clock strapped to me. So it was definitely interesting. I don't know if the recording of that exists anywhere, but we have a copy of it.
We do. We watched it not that long ago because I stumbled across it. I didn't think I still had it. I had the drive from a friend.
Yeah.
It's in the back, unfortunately, so you can't see as well. But, like, you know, they zoomed in, so, like, you can see kind of what's going on. Because it's in the back and they zoomed in, there's a part where I fall on stage and it just looks like I disappear because, you know, you can't see the ground. Oh, to get into this, you know, if you're a theater person and you want to be angry with us, we went to a very small school And it was, I kid you not, made out of an old Kmart building.
No, actually renovated
So
from an old Kmart into a school.
It doesn't look like a Kmart now. You wouldn't be able to know. You wouldn't know because they've updated it a lot, thankfully. But therefore, we don't have like an actual auditorium. And up until I think my senior year, we had a carpet stage.
Yeah. Okay. So this actually cuts a little deep for me. When I guess we're going to talk about the fact that I was actually quite upset that I didn't get all of, my regular senior things, but a lot of those were theater things. We were really excited to do Into the Woods my senior year, and when it didn't happen, it was really disappointing. But what got me is that during the 2-ish months between lockdown, like initial lockdown, and when they sent us back to do like a walkthrough, we did like a senior walkthrough. We got to walk through the halls and look at like old photos and stuff and things like that. It was really sweet, kind of socially distanced activity. But when we went back, we walked onto the stage and it was hardwood. And they had done it while we were gone. And so I never got to perform on the hardwood stage. It was just the rusty, musty, crusty carpet for me. But once they added the hardwood, it definitely changed a lot. The acoustics are a little better, and it definitely looks a little more polished. But if you ever see any videos of our stage prior to that little renovation, you will notice it is peeling carpet. So Beauty and the Beast was done on that carpet, which actually turned out to be quite a problem, because at one point we had there's a scene in Beauty and the Beast, which if you've seen it, you'll probably know, when Gaston sings in like the local tavern. And this specific scene, we had a bunch of extras and people banging duct taped glass mugs together, and it was supposed to create a clink for the sound and in the song and stuff. And they went a little too hard one night and shattered some of those cups on a carpet stage, like in the middle of an actual performance. And so our stage crew had to go on and clean that up as fast as humanly possible, because some of us were barefoot.
Oh, for those of you who are wondering, we didn't have time to get like tin cans, and it didn't sound good. And I think in the actual Beauty and the Beast musical, this was a bit, that's why we did it.
Yeah.
Like in the Gaston song, during a dance bit, we all have cups and we're clinking them on beat, and it's all really cool because we all have like these little like tavern cups, but like, we didn't want to break them, and that was inevitable with how many people we had clinking these cups, so we just duct taped them. It's definitely season finale-ish. Definitely.
Yeah,
but not
kinda.
like a wrap-up season finale, like a bittersweet cliffhanger season finale for like the people that were gonna stay on the show and the people who were leaving.
Yeah, it was definitely an odd time, and a lot of those people, ended up informing where we went after the fact, and we saw some of those people moving forward, and things change. And I think I've said 7 times now, but they were a really big part of theater, and I don't think theater would have been the same without the relationships that we had, nor would we have the same jokes. I mean, the quote list wouldn't exist without some of those people. So, and if you don't know what I'm referencing, we had it was a list that existed pretty much solely on Rose's phone, of quotes that we would randomly spew at random times. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
There's a lot.
But
for just like us as a group, or like us, our experiences, I had a quote list going, but freshman year there was like an actual quote list just for the theater kids, and I think one of the seniors was in charge of it, and that's what kind of got the quote list started for me. I just literally wrote down anything that I thought was funny, whether it be theater or not, but most of them were theater. Or the LA trip. The LA trip was a big one.
We did have one. I remember when we moved onto campus, when we moved to Arizona, we had one, because there was that one time we were sitting in like in front of the Panda Express, and some kid said something about what did he say? Running through the woods or
Oh,
something, and that went on a quote list. I remember specifically we put that on a quote list.
yeah. College is fun because you meet a lot of crazy people. And you know those moments in public when you're walking past somebody and you catch a snippet of a conversation and it's so odd, but even out of context, it's funny. It's even more in college, I think, because it's a bunch of college kids just walking around. So we had a big quote list going for people we walked past because we always heard like the funniest stuff.
Yeah.
But I forget about that quote list sometimes because I kept it going for a while, but not very far. I think when I left college is when I kind of forgot about it. But it's like a 4 or 5 year quote list. Like I had it for a while.
Quite extensive. Well, was there anything about theater specifically, or I guess like our friend group in general, that it, like, if you could go back and you could change anything about it, would you? Quote list included. Do you want to take any quotes off the list?
I think when I hit college and I was self-reflecting on high school a lot, there was definitely a lot of things that I was like, oh my God, why did I do that? Or like, oh, that was so cringy. Like, which I mean, everybody does about high school. Like, you're always cringy in high school. You can't escape that. But theater kids especially, like, I look back and I still cringe at some things.
Right.
Like, there's like probably maybe 1, 2, 3 stories that I don't retell often unless I'm super comfortable with somebody because I'm still embarrassed by it. But I don't know. I think at first I was very much like, oh, why didn't I get casted for these? Or
Right.
why didn't I notice that people didn't see me this way or whatever? Like, high school girl things. But I look back now and I'm like, you know what? I had a fun time. I say this a lot. I was a very unaware person in high school, and I thank the Lord every day for that. I'm just running around lollygagging, thinking this is all fun and happy and jokes and like all that. Like I was a very oblivious person in high school. Now, granted, that gave me some very cringy or embarrassing moments, but I think if I was a hyper-aware person in high school, I would have been a lot more depressed.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know specifically there were a few things that happened in our little group that you were either blissfully unaware of or selectively ignorant of. And I kind of envied that that quality in you because, I'm not like that. I notice everything. I notice every little detail. I overthink everything. So I think that's not a bad thing. To have not been aware of the conglomerate.
I was going to bring that up. I was like, to put it in perspective of how oblivious I was, or just, not paying attention. I joked that I was stupid, but, like, not actually stupid, just like, kind of like, I'm in my own little world.
You've always been like that.
I wasn't good at reading people or, like, social stuff most of the time. So when I came into One Act freshman year, granted we did do a World War II play, but like we all were having a good time and like we were working hard and putting this on, and I'm like having all these friends and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I love theater. Like I love these people. This is like my place. Like I was having the greatest time on and off stage. And then the following year, after most of those seniors graduated, my theater teacher was talking, I think with another student, but I was in the room. They mentioned not a love triangle, a love pentagon is what they called it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And my theater teacher's like, oh, honey, there was so much tension on stage. Could you not see that? I'm like, no, I think I'm up in La La Land thinking this is like the greatest place ever. I had no idea. Yeah. But apparently that was a very...
Well, the Pentagon would have been your freshman year. Yeah. So before my time. And then the conglomerate was the year following, which would have been my time. So there was a section of about 4 or 5 years that were kind of overflowing with drama on and off stage.
That is how theater works. I can guarantee you that.
Well, yeah. Not to say that like we didn't have fun. There were just, everybody has things. So, I think to circle back and ask myself the question, would I change anything? I would change that. The mess that came up towards the end of that year was not bad because, well, and actually, a lot of it served to make the friendships that I had personally a lot stronger at the time. I just don't like thinking back on it, and I think it was a little overdone. But I think in a way, theater also taught me how to overcome drama or problems that you may have with friends, to talk those things out and get over them and move on. And I think that's an important lesson. So would I do it differently? Probably, but am I glad for the lesson? Definitely.
Yeah, it's hard to be mature and have courage in high school, but genuinely, it's just ridiculous to let drama stew. Being communicative was probably our best choices at those times.
Yeah.
But I also think we're lucky because, like, when all the, like, big drama happened for everybody, not just
Right.
us, like, it felt like everything happened all at once. I think we were very happy that it wasn't, like, in the middle of the year or Beauty and the Beast. Like, it was at the end when those people, like, seniors were graduating.
Right. And when we were, gonna take a summer break.
Yeah, no, it was a good placement for that drama.
It was. It really
And
was.
Yeah, I am happy about that because it felt like, yeah, that did happen, but like the happy memories outweigh the awkward or bad memories in a way, personally. And now that it's been long enough, I feel like when we look back on that, we're like, ugh, that was awkward. It's
Yeah, it's
fine
just-
though. I learned a lot.
Yeah. Is there any part of those relationships or even one act specifically that you wish was present in your life now? Like anything that you wish you could have at this point? Because
Yeah.
we've talked about this. We really only work and come home and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I know people say this all the time, but it's true. Like, when you go to college, like, things change. Like, there might be those people that you stay in contact with, like you. But, we kind of did a bunch of the same things together. There will be
Right.
times where, like, it kind of just happens. Like, you don't have those friends anymore, high school or college. Like, I left college, and I don't talk to a ton of those people anymore. I wish I
Right.
did. And I feel the same way about high school. Like, I look back, and I had really good friends in theater. I miss a lot of them.
Right.
Like, the guy I got to play with who played Gaston, I mean, I look back on that, and I'm like, God, we had so much fun. Like, we hung out all the time, and it's weird. He's married with children now.
Yeah, time passes so fast. I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day, and the passage of time is just so hard because I feel like at this point I don't really comprehend it anymore. And there's no way that where we are presently we could have what we had then. But I think that's an essential part of growing up is learning how to live without that and where to find it in new scenarios and new places and things like that. But things happen fast.
Yeah. And I know it's corny and no duh to say, but like, yeah, no, except at the fact that like you probably won't stay in contact with all of your high school friends or all of your college friends as time goes on. Like, it's just inevitable. But don't let that stop you from literally having the best time of your life.
Right.
Because genuinely, while happy moments are bittersweet to think about and you wish you could go back to them, they do make it. I know that's corny and be like, yeah, no, life is about the memories. No, it genuinely is. It genuinely is.
I know you hear that a lot. Like if you're younger and you're, tuning in, I think it's important to remember that while there are tons of people telling you things that you're like, oh my gosh, I've heard that, please stop, like I know, they're not normally exaggerating. And honestly, it's a little bit of a blow to my pride to be like, well, it's true, but it is, and we would be remiss not to mention the fact that like these experiences, these things that we went through, these people that we knew were such a very large part of our lives, and in so doing, they've also become a very large part of both of our stories, and these are memories that we definitely cherish a lot. And if you let them fly by you too quickly, you'll regret it. Like I have a brother who's in the same theater program that we were in, and he is having so much fun. And sometimes I worry that he's not, putting enough stock into it. But I think it's also true that you don't realize to put stock into something like that until you don't have the opportunity to do it anymore. So I think we got a little deep there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's kind of what this is. Like, theater, I don't, we wouldn't be here without theater, honestly, because, like, those were our people, those were our friends, those were, like, most of our memories from high school, or most of our late nights and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and, like, our funny stories, our funny quotes, like, all that stuff. So, I'm very thankful for those people. That's the thing, as you get older, not to be all, like, wise and all that, but, like, I look back on high school and I'm like, I wouldn't say I regret anything. I do wish I was at least a little more aware, because I think if I opened my eyes a bit more, I would have seen a lot more,
Yeah.
good and bad. But I look back and I'm like, even if there was, like, drama between people, or, like, I wasn't really super close with somebody or anything like that, like,
Yeah.
I still hold a lot of respect for a lot of those people. I hold a lot of respect for, like, a lot of my past people, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't say I made enemies, or I wasn't the kind of person that always had
Yeah.
beef with anybody. I don't think I've ever had beef with anybody my entire life.
You're not the kind of person to have beef with anyone else.
No, I'm very neutral. Well, like, in the sense of, like, I harbor a lot of humor, all types of humor.
Yeah.
I'm nice with everybody. I don't really hold grudges. Like, I like to say, like, I've never really had, like, an issue with anybody.
Right.
So it's nice to think that, like, when I look back, I'm like, hey, we may not have talked much, but, like, we had good times, and
Right.
I still hold, like, a massive respect for you. Even people in my grade too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll always. I thought about that the other day when I ran into a high school friend in my grade. It's like, the memories we have are those cringy high school ones. But, like, I wouldn't say that's how I'm gonna remember them, if that makes sense. Like, I'm like, yeah, we were weird, fun high school friends and we had a great time, but, like, they are not those people now.
Right.
They are definitely not those people now. I am confident that, like, most of the people I knew in high school are doing crazy wild things right now. Because if they've changed like I have, or seen the things that I have, like, holy cow.
Yeah. Well, and that's the nature of it, isn't it? You grow, you learn based on experiences that you have had and will have. So,
But it's also cool to think about how you're probably, like, not 10 times better, but, like, you're probably, like, you've grown so much.
everybody comes from somewhere.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
if I ran into a high school friend and they still saw me as the person they knew in high school,
Listen,
I would be very scared.
listen, that is the nature of our world, though, is you put somebody in a box based on what you know about them. And I think it's kind of hard to come out of that box, especially if you're not actively seeing somebody, actively talking to somebody. So they probably would think that. But you know what? You could probably fix it pretty quick. Because you're not the same person you were in high school, and neither am I. And we are glad for that.
Nobody should be at this point.
Growth is good. Growth is good.
Growth is good.
Growth is definitely good. Theater did allow us to be fun, to mess around, to giggle, to do stupid things. It gave us kind of an outlet for that. And beyond that, it gave us people for it. So, moral of the story is, do we want to be the people we were then? Not necessarily. Do we appreciate it? Yes. Do we have a lot of great stories that you will probably hear over the course of the podcast? Absolutely.
There's probably, like, a ton of theater stories we could tell. We didn't dive into most of them, but they'll probably come up every now and then, because we had a lot of fun, both making short films, being in theater, going on mission trips, if I can talk. But
we're definitely still in the get to know us phase.
Yeah.
We specifically chose this topic to kind of expand on the getting to know us that you started in the first episode. So I apologize if we bored you to death with our whimsical pasts. But so we are, story of us. The next episode will be a little more involved, a little more fun. I think we're going to talk about books.
Yeah, I think that will be our next one. I
we'll
definitely
talk about
vote for that
books.
one next because I've been reading more. But
Yes.
this was definitely like our little kind of theater lore episode. So, we did talk about our past more, but kind of delved into more of like, knowing where we came from and kind of like why we.
Yeah. Need to know who we are, need to know what our motivations are, so
Yeah.
you can kind of get to know us. So how do you feel about your matcha at this point? I know we haven't really been drinking our matcha very much.
I've been drinking both. Like I said, I think it is a lemonade because, it might be. It's still good. Very sweet. Very, like, strong.
I'm going to be honest. My matcha sucks. I don't like it very much. We've had a bit of a rough go of it today. Our cameras aren't really cooperating with us. So you have to bear with us if there's any awkward spaces or anything like that. But Rose is a master editor. So.
Yeah, I definitely am. But also, technology is against us and out to get us. So
Definitely.
I will try my hardest. And we're also not in like a studio. We're just in my room. And we're burning up because if you do audio, you know that I turned off all fans and air conditioning and anything that could buzz.
She's trying to torture me because I hate the heat, and she's trying to torture me. I promise. That's exactly what's happening.
I was thinking about the audio. I'm sorry.
She's thinking about torturing me. Okay, well, thanks for listening to us ramble. We hope you liked this episode. Tune in next time if you want to hear us talk about our favorite books.
I'm gonna get into that.
We might even bring props.
Ooh. I definitely got my little bookshelf behind me with all the books that I've read recently because I've been reading a lot more books lately. So I feel confident on this topic this time.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
How do you want to end this?
How did we end the last one?
With you laughing?